very good morning to you and welcome to today's edition of Trending Issues. Of course, it comes to you live from AF Television. How are you this beautiful Wednesday morning? Yes, today is Wednesday. It's a midweek in the whole week. Thank God it's Wednesday. My name is still Faith Okanwa, a regular host of the program Trending Issues. We talk about issues trending in Nigeria and, of course, outside Nigeria. Don't forget you can join us on all our social media platforms on display on the screen. You can see it rolling. Join us, drop your comments, make your contributions on all the topics that we are talking about, trending in Nigeria and, of course, outside Nigeria. You know how we do it. Drop your comment, follow our links, share also, and you can also read our news content on our news website. All right, quickly, let's start from what has been affecting majority of Nigerians for the past few days, and it has left some people with the question of what is actually happening. Are we actually in the festive period? Because when it comes to festive period like the December period like this, most especially, that is when you see fuel scarcity, long queues in petrol stations, and the hike in prices of transport fares and every other thing. But now, this is a February, no celebration, yes, no, even if Valentine is coming, but then Valentine doesn't affect fuel and every other thing. But now there has been fuel scarcity and then hoarding of fuel and long queues in fuel stations in states like Lagos, Abuja, Nasarawa, and so many other states. And now, what is causing this issue? We're going to tell you now that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, that's the NNPC, imported adulterated petrol, PMS. NNPC imported adulterated PMS of over 100 million liters of PMS, adulterated, contaminated petrol, fuel, what we know as fuel, petrol, the ones used in the generator, the ones used in your car. NNPC imported the fake one. Yes, let's call it the fake one, the adulterated one. And of course, this has sparked a reaction. So that is to say that while you have long queues in some fuel stations in your area, wherever you are watching us, is because there have been an infiltration of some adulterated products. And of course, the NNPC said they did not know when these products came in, so they found out about this issue when they must have imported the product, and then they dispersed it to some petrol stations. Of course, they said they have recalled some tankers that have not moved from the depot, and then some of the fuel stations have been ordered not to sell anymore. But then people have already bought this fuel. Some people, their cars have not. Some people's generators, the engine have not. Every other thing. And then petrol stations have already gotten a distribution of this petrol, this particular adulterated petrol. They have locked, and then you have a long queue there on the road. We'll just play you one of the videos that has been trending, showing the adulterated petrol that was imported into the country by the NNPC. So when we come back, we'll talk more about it.
Oh yeah.
Before we bought it already.
They supply you.
They supply us.
From which depot?
Salonian. We bought it.
Salonian satellite depot.
At
Abule
Adu. That's it. We bought it and that's what happened.
This is the fuel, Abi?
Yes, this is the fuel.
This is the fuel?
Yes.
So you are filtering it, Abi?
We are filtering it. You can see the vehicle there. That one has been spoiled. That other one has been spoiled. The package. See the other one.
This Lexus?
Yes.
Is that why you are not working again?
We are not working on because this thing is already scattered the business and we can't work again. All the customers they are complaining. People want to buy open it.
The same thing with all this bike?
Yes.
The same thing with this car?
Yes.
Who is the owner of this car? Is customer? Is the customer?
Yeah, it's a customer.
Where is the customer now?
The customer has even abandoned it that we should go and help. We should go and fix the car for him.
So is this the customer that reported it to police or a police station?
He has already reported us now.
And this bus?
The bus has parked his own there until we fix it. And you can see this other one too. See, the tanks, everything.
So you cannot work again.
You cannot work again. Come on, let me come and show you all those ones we voted out from the tank. Every one of them complaining. You cannot buy. See this one. This engine has got not correctly. This one has not. This engine has not correctly.
This is customer's car, Abi?
Yes, customer's car. Come and see those ones that we did now. Come and see. These are the parts. We have to be keeping it here. Can you see? This is a full tank. This is already a full tank. This is a full tank. This is a full tank.
So this is the fuel. This is what we filtered from the tank, from the pump.
Yes, these are what we filtered from the pump.
So it also affected your pump, Abi?
Yes.
How many pumps?
We affected
2 pumps.
No, like 6 we now.
It has affected your pump.
With our pumps, yes. Now.
And this thing is from Salonia Depot, Abi?
Salonia Depot.
You did it from Salonia Depot, Abule Ado?
Abule Ado.
Okay. So the whole Nigeria must hear this. Federal government must hear this. NNPC must be aware of this thing now. This video must go viral. This is the product loaded from Salonia Depot, and it was reported that it's NNPC that gave them that product. So we need to confirm this thing from Salonia. Otherwise, if Salonia cannot respond to this within 12 hours, this video will go viral. Nobody should buy product from Salonia again. Salonia Depot, they are selling fake product. They are selling fake PMS to people, to customers. Now the station has shut down now. Can you see their gate now? See. Oh yeah.
The fuel we bought is already
they supply you.
They supply us.
From which depot? Salonia.
Salonian.
Salonia satellite depot.
At
Abule Ado.
Abule Ado. That's it. We bought it and that's what happened.
This is the fuel, Abi?
Yes, this is the fuel.
This is the fuel?
Yes.
So you are filtering it, Abi?
We are filtering it. You can see. See the vehicle there. That one has been spoiled. That other one has been spoiled. They pack it. See the other one.
This Lexus?
Yes.
Is that the reason why you are not working again?
We are not working on because this thing is already scattered the business and we can't work again. All the customers are complaining. People want to buy open it.
The same thing with all this bike?
Yes.
The same thing with this car?
Yes.
Who is the owner of this car? It's customer. It's customer.
Yeah, it's a customer.
Where is the customer now?
The customer has even abandoned it that we should go and help fix the car for him.
So is this the command that reported it to police or police station?
He has already reported us now.
And this bus?
The bus has parked his own that until we fix it. And you can see this other one too. See the tanks, everything.
So you cannot walk again.
You cannot walk again. Come on, let me come and show you all those ones we voted out from the tank. Every one of them complaining. You cannot buy. See this one. This engine has got not correctly. This one has not. This engine has not correctly.
This is customer's car, Abi?
Yes, customer's car. Come and see those ones that we did now. Come and see. These are the parts. We have to be keeping it here. Can you see? This is a full tank. This is already a full tank. This is a full tank. This is a full tank.
So this is the fuel. This is what we filtered from the tank, from the pump.
Yes, these are what we filtered from the pump.
So it also affected your pump, Abi?
Yes.
How many pumps?
We affected
2 pumps.
No, like 6 we now.
It has affected your pump.
With our pumps, yes now.
And this thing is from Salonia Depot, Abi?
Salonia Depot.
You did it from Salonia Depot, Abule Ado?
Abule Ado.
Okay. So the whole Nigeria must hear this. Federal government must hear this. NNPC must be aware of this thing now. This video must go viral. This is the product loaded from Salonia Depot, and it was reported that it's NNPC that gave them that product. So we need to confirm this thing from Salonia. Otherwise, if Salonia cannot respond to this within 12 hours, this video will go viral. Nobody should buy product from Salonia again. Salonia Depot, they are selling fake product. They are selling fake.
All right, that is one of the videos that have been trending for the past few days as regards to that adulterated petrol that was imported into the country, into Nigeria by the NNPC. And of course, it's not just that fuel station. Other fuel stations in states, in Lagos, in Abuja, in Nasarawa, and some other states like Niger State were also affected. And some people have been lamenting. There have been a huge uproar as regards to this. But then the subsidiary of the NNPC, that's talking about the Nigerian Midstream and the Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, they've released a statement as regards to this adulterated petroleum that was imported, over 100 million liters of this said adulterate. I'll just take the statement released by the NMDPRA, that is the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, a subsidiary of the NNPC, and they said the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority wishes to inform the general public that limited quantity of petroleum motor spirits (PMS), commonly known as petrol, with methanol quantities above Nigeria's specification, was discovered in the supply chain. Methanol is a regular additive in petrol and usually blended in an acceptable quantity. To ensure vehicle and equipment safety, the limited quantity of the imported product has been isolated and withdrawn from the market, including the loaded trucks in transit. Our technical team, in conjunction with NNPC Limited and other industry stakeholders, will continue to monitor and ensure quality petroleum products are adequately supplied and distributed nationwide. The source supplier has been identified, and further commercial and appropriate actions shall be taken by the authority and NNPC Limited. NNPC Limited and all oil marketing companies have been directed to sustain sufficient distribution of petrol in all retail outlets nationwide. That is a statement coming from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, a subsidiary of the NNPC. And they are saying that they have been able to identify the supplier. But the question is it just identifying who the supplier is? What is the step forward? What is the next move that the NNPC is going to do or carry on as regards to this matter? Because the deed has been done, the damages have been done, some vehicle owners have been stranded, passengers have been stranded, fuel station owners are also stranded. And then another question is, who is going to compensate those persons? You can see from the video that some of the car owners parked their cars there. They left because they could not move, because they've already bought this adulterated petroleum, and then filled their tank. To move became an issue. They had to trek home or maybe seek for another means of transportation. But then, who will compensate them? Who will do the job so that their engine will start working again? Who will pay? Who will finance this? And of course, so many people have been calling out the NNPC and of course President Muhammadu Buhari, because he's the minister of the NNPC, Minister of Petroleum. Of course, the president have issued a statement a few hours ago, and he seemed to be angry about the developments, and he has called for thorough investigation into the matter. And that leaves us to ask, why should Nigeria continue importing our own natural resources? Of course, we have these natural resources, but we have an issue here. We don't have any refinery to refine this product so that we can use it. We have to bring the resources, move it to other countries, then they refine it, and we import it back into Nigeria. And the funniest part is that when we are importing this product back to the country, we import it at a very costly rate, and that is to say that the federal government of Nigeria and every other authority, the NNPC and everybody that has one thing or the other to do as regards to this case, needs to sit up according to ensure that everything is settled. And of course, another question is, does it mean that the NNPC does not have any room for check to ensure that we do not import something like this, so that the consumers will not be affected as such? And that leaves us to say, okay, we have corruption everywhere, yes, but then must we continue to encourage corruption in every sector? All right, it's still trending issues, AF television, this beautiful Wednesday morning. We'll talk about issues that are trending in Nigeria and, of course, outside Nigeria. This issue has caused the uproar across Nigeria. If you go to Twitter, you will see so many people commenting on this fuel scarcity, adulterated petroleum, and some people have been saying, how do I transport myself from my house to my workplace? And then fuel station owners have even added to the problem also, because if you go to fuel stations now in some of the states that are affected, even those that do not have this adulterated product are now hoarding the fuel, some are increasing the price. Of course, that is business for you. They use what affects you negatively to get profit. All right, let's go over to another issue that is trending in Nigeria. We're just talking about the ASUU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Of course, they are planning to embark on an indefinite strike. We know ASUU and the stories of strike action, ASUU and federal government. How and when will this cat and dog fight between the federal government of Nigeria and ASUU end? It seems that it's not going to end anytime soon. All right, on Monday, ASUU announced Monday as stay at home, students stay at home. It's a lecture-free day, work-free day for some of the branches of ASUU in some states, and they said that they announced this lecture-free day because they need to sit. The members of ASUU need to sit and dialogue and see the way forward if they're actually going to embark on this strike or not. Of course, they are saying that the federal government is still owing them about 880 billion naira revitalization fund and every other thing. Of course, we know sometimes they went on strike, a very long strike period there, and then the federal government had a series of negotiations with them, and they resolved. The federal government said they were going to hick into their cry, and they came back. But now they said federal government is yet to do the needful, and of course, President Muhammadu Buhari has joined others to ask them, please, just be patient with us, and we will, of course, we will hick into your cry and then do the needful. Of course, ASUU is saying, no, Mr. President, we are not taking any more of these. And some other persons are saying, like the University of Maiduguri chapter of ASUU, they are saying that the federal government is treating them worse than Boko Haram insurgents are being treated. That is to tell you the level of how will I put it now? Of course, it has gotten to a very bad state that ASUU is now comparing themselves with Boko Haram, how federal government is treating Boko Haram, and how federal government is treating ASUU officials. Of course, the education sector is a very vital sector, yes, as a health sector, and every other sector in Nigeria economy, and then the federal government needs to do the needful. Please, federal government, President Muhammadu Buhari, and every other persons need to do the needful so that our students, our children that are in public institutions of learning will not be affected, because they are the most affected persons. If ASUU embarks on strike, or if the polytechnics or every other institution embark on strike, who will teach these students? How will they get educational qualification? Of course, some persons have access to private universities and then international universities, but then majority of us do not have access to all these issues. And that is why the federal government needs to do the needful, and that is to say, please, ASUU, do not embark on this nationwide strike just as they are closing. Of course, they've not agreed that they are going, but then they have been mobilizing and they have been threatening that if federal government does not do anything soon, they will embark on that strike. All right, trending issues, AF Television. Join us on all our social media platforms. Drop your comments and your contributions. You know how we do it on AF Television on the program Trending Issues. We'll talk about issues that are trending in Nigeria and, of course, outside of Nigeria. All right, let's move away from the academic sector and move to politics. Yes, you know, Rochas Okorocha, Senator Rochas Okorocha, former governor of Imo State, you know, he has been in the news. He and the EFCC, that's talking about the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and then they seem to be brothers and sisters having a fight that seems to be resolved at a point, and then the other point, the issue escalates again. Of course, you know that the EFCC, just a few hours after Senator Rochas Okorocha declared his intention to run for the 2023 presidency, we've had a series of candidates aspiring saying, yes, I have ambition to run for 2023 presidency to replace President Muhammadu Buhari. Just few hours, less than 48 hours after Rochas declared their intention to run for 2023 presidency, EFCC announced that he is being investigated for an alleged 2.9 billion naira fraud. And of course, it sparked a reaction. Some persons kicked against that, saying, why would the EFCC bring up this matter now that Okorocha just declared his ambition to run for 2023 presidency? And some persons said, yes, anti-graft agency, please do your job and ensure that corruption is fought to the list. And of course, Rochas Okorocha refused to sit down waiting for EFCC to hang him just like that. He met President Muhammadu Buhari. Yes, he went to ASUU in Abuja to meet President Muhammadu Buhari, and after meeting him, he said that the president assured him that he was going to look into the matter. But now there is a development because Okorocha seemed not to be waiting for the president to just look into the matter. He has approached a court sitting in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, and that court gave a ruling in a case involving he and the EFCC to the tune of 5.7 billion naira. The EFCC had alleged that he misappropriated funds when he was governor of Imo State to the tune of 5.7 billion naira, and that court had told EFCC to stop probing Okorocha and, of course, release his international passport and other travel documents of his. And, of course, Rochas Okorocha approached that court again on Tuesday, telling the court Please, judge, please, court, see EFCC is back. They are investigating me again. When you've asked them not to probe me any further, and of course they are doing that, investigating me in the same issue. And of course, that court yesterday ruled that EFCC should not further probe Rochas Okorocha until the matter is determined in court. And of course, that is to say that EFCC, if they will heed to the ruling of the court, will not probe Rochas Okorocha further in that case until the court decides on the case. Of course, we love a fight against corruption, but then what we're saying is that if you're fighting corruption, let it be all-round fight against corruption so that Nigeria will be a better place. It is a country for you and I. It is a country for all of us. That is why we keep telling you, stay away from crime, stay away from criminal activities, anything that will not bring you good or bring people around you good, please stay away from that. All right, trending issues, AF television. Let's go over to another issue that is trending, and this issue has to do with a Catholic priest, and this man did something. I don't know how to tag this his action. But then that outburst, to me, it's uncalled for. We're talking about the parish priest of Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Ikorodu area of Lagos. That's talking about Reverend Father James Anelu. And on Sunday, he banned Igbo songs, any form of Igbo song, Igbo language song. It should not be sung in this church henceforth. And of course, that is a Reverend Father James Anelu telling his congregation in that parish, and of course that outburst sparked a reaction. We'll just play a little clip that was taken in that church service, and when we come back, we'll give you more details.
Every church has its own rules. That is the start of the church. Enough, please. Enough. And answer, continue. If you know that you are more than God, keep on talking. This is a new year. Have you seen when the brother of God start acting? Start acting now. If you are agreed, if you are annoyed, see the aftermath. Not putting the mass. If you know that you have arguments to put forward before the altar of God, see the aftermath.
But you did what you did during the mass.
You think God sent me here to bring what you do? If I go to Colombia and start speaking Yoruba, the Colombia people will use stone to blind me with Yoruba. Let me tell you another one. I was in Abo Mama to go and bury somebody. They say I can't say mass because I can't speak Igbo. But when I now told them that the woman of that corpse will kill the Reverend Father, because the Reverend Father now allowed me to use English, I think it is we are here to evangelize everybody. We are not here to dominate and to suppress. If you sing Igbo, will a Yoruba person come to this church? Will other tribes come to this church? If all other tribes are fighting to sing their song, how many people will read this church? They make the noise. If you are God, if you are greater than God, you make the noise. They make the noise. The noise that will follow your life, you will see. They make the noise. Let's listen to the following.
All right, that is Reverend Father James Anelu there, banning Igbo songs in his parish in Lagos. And of course, that ban caused a spark from the congregation. Of course, you could hear from the video. And some persons, a majority of them kicked against it. And of course, the issue trended on social media, and the people were saying, why would a Reverend Father be saying such a thing. He has his own reason, and of course, some of the reason he gave from the video says that the Igbos cannot keep dominating wherever they find themselves. And of course, he also gave an argument that if they continue speaking Igbo in the parish, giving Igbo songs, how will a Yoruba man be encouraged to come to the church? Of course, that is his view of that. But then the Archdiocese of Lagos Catholic Church have released a statement as regards to that, and they have suspended him. That is to say that the Reverend Father is going on a leave of absence. We'll just take that statement released by the Archdiocese of Lagos and signed by Alfred Adewale Martins, that's the Archbishop of Lagos, and it's read, it has been brought to our notice that Reverend Father James Anelo, the priest in charge of Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Ewowa Ikorodu, made some completely unacceptable comments about Igbo songs being sung in the church and on several remarks that do not represent the Catholic Church's position on common brotherhood of people of all tribes and religions. For this reason, he has been asked to proceed on an indefinite leave of absence to give an opportunity for a thorough investigation of all the matters relating to his ministry in the parish. The leave of absence takes effect from Tuesday, 8th February 2022, while till further notice. We therefore urge all Catholic faithful to hold on to the faith and continue in a worship of God as one big family, united in love and not separated by language, culture, or race. That is a statement released by the Archbishop of Lagos. They're announcing the suspension of Reverend Father James Anelu of that parish in Lagos State. All right, trending issues, AF television. Let's go back to the final story we have today, and it's from India, outside Nigeria, where for the past few days, some persons have taken to the streets to protest the ban of hijab, especially students. Last month, a public high school gave an issue to issued a statement to its students saying we don't want a hijab in our schools anymore. And then some other schools borrowed leave from that mandate, and they told their own students we do not want a hijab again. And of course, that ban of hijab in schools generated some controversies, and then students took to the streets to protest the ban of hijab. From the picture on the screen could show you some students with placards protesting why should they be banned from wearing hijab. Of course, you know, India, they practice mainly Hinduism is related to Islam, and they wear a hijab, and they're saying, why would you ask us not to wear a hijab to schools? And of course, some of the students were saying that their teachers restricted them from attending classes, and some said they were restricted from taking exams because they wore a hijab. Of course, that protest was so outrageous, and the police had to use a tear gas to disperse these students. Of course, the authority have shut down schools in India from yesterday, and it will run till 3 days, so that they will sit and negotiate to ensure that the matter is resolved. Of course, the matter was taken to court yesterday, and the court sat to hear the legality of that ban, and the court did not give a ruling yesterday because they could not finish that matter. And that is to say, schools in India, affected schools, have been shut down from yesterday, yes, and it will run for 3 days. That is to say that students are expected to stay in their houses for the next 3 days, and then hopefully after these 3 days the students will be back, and then the matter will be resolved. All right, trending issues, AF television, that's how we call it a wrap on today's edition. Let's take a few of the comments we'll have on our social media platform before we'll call it a wrap. And we'll have Obinna Obonna. He says they just want to increase fuel price. Whose fault is it that NNPC imported adulterated fuel? They should fix it. This is the only country where anything is dished out to us, and they expect we'll buy that story. All right, that is Obinna Obonna. His comment, I think, was referring to the NNPC importing adulterated petroleum. Of course, it's a very sad story to hear that a country as big as Nigeria and a company as big as NNPC, the sole refiner and the sole company that is in charge of petroleum, could do such a big mistake, and then we'll keep on fighting illegal refineries. And of course, we'll hope that all the relevant authorities will do the needful. And this said, the supplier that has been identified, probably he should be taxed to carry out the burden and compensate affected persons. My name is Faith Okanwa. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Trending Issues that comes to you from AF Television. Thank you so much. Until I come your way next time, it is bye for now.